For listening to ESPN Northwest Florida, rely on it.
Hey there, business owners. Do you feel lost in a sea of numbers, struggling to navigate your day-to-day accounting? At Lighthouse CPAs, they specialize in guiding businesses to make more money and keep more of what you make. From bookkeeping to tax planning, they've got you covered. Plus, with their user-friendly software, managing your finances has never been easier. Spend less time on paperwork and more time growing your business. Call Lighthouse CPAs 850-785-5254.
Discover the new Kia during the Summer Sticker Sales event going on now at Bill Bird Kia. Our SUV family is built for all-in adventures and endless possibilities. Whether you're traveling on the highways or off-road, you'll do it with grace and grit. Now offering 1.9% APR for up to 48 months on the purchase of a new 2024 Kia Sorento or a new 2024 Kia Sportage. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. Bill Bird Kia is the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKia.PanamaCity.com. Now enjoy the view this summer because the road is yours in a brand new Kia from Bill Bird Kia.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2024 Kia Sorento or new 2024 Kia Sportage with $2,165 per month per 1,000 financed in 48 months. Quantities limited. No down payment required. Cannot be combined with other finance offers. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 7/8/24.
It's time for a new kitchen from Kitchen Designs. Kitchen Designs in Panama City Beach and Santa Rosa Beach offers full-service cabinets, countertops, and flooring, plus cash and carry cabinets available the very next day. Kitchen Designs has been family-owned and operated for over 20 years. Visit their showroom at 7934 Front Beach Road and on Lynn Drive in Santa Rosa Beach. Or call Kitchen Designs, 850-775-4150.
Bestway Portable Buildings has been your portable building specialist since 1989. Before you invest your hard-earned money someplace else, owner Jason Mulder invites you to stop by Bestway and get a quote on just about any size building. And whether you buy with Bestway or not, it's worth the trip just to meet Bestway Buddy. Say hello, buddy. Good boy. Bestway Portable Buildings, just north of Hartz Marine on 231 and online at bestwayportablebuildings.com. The best in portable, period. Tell them Buddy sent ya.
Progressive asks, what do an escaped leopard,
We're live from the zoo where a leopard has escaped.
a growling stomach, an uneaten tuna sandwich, and a backdoor doggy door have in common? They can lead to an unexpected kitchen renovation.
Yeah, hi. Is this the zoo? Your leopard is in my kitchen.
Bundle your home and auto with Progressive for great savings and round-the-clock protection.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
WPLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX Lynn Haven. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's the next evolution of sports talk radio. The biggest stories and the biggest reactions.
Now.
And now we're taking...
With the first pick.
It's the last ball you gotta bat.
The Inside Drive. From college to the pros. Interviews with the newsmakers, sports betting, your phone calls, and more. And now, The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And good Wednesday morning. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. 104.3 in Panama City and Panama City Beach and the beautiful surrounding areas. 101.9 in Port St. Joe along the Forgotten Coast. As always, you can like, comment, share, listen, subscribe, all those beautiful things on our social channels. That's Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Streaming live all three shows every day, plus all the other great stuff we got going on here at ESPN Northwest Florida. You can do that by finding out and downloading our free mobile app inside the Google Play or Apple Store. That one, you do got to add the 104.3 on top of that one. So just make sure when you search it up, you do that. Of course, follow our TikTok page, inside.drive. And then last but not least, head over there to ESPNPC.com. Click on that Best of Bay button at the top and give us a vote. I shared it in the live show as I always do as well. But lots of local shows here, all four shows nominated. We got the Coach James Hale Show. We got the Inside Drive, the Afternoon Underdogs, Ducks and the Sam Peebles Braves Dugout podcast. So make sure you get out there and vote. You can do it once per day, per email address. We know you got more than one. There's some stuff you signed up for that you didn't want anybody to know about. You used some kind of email address. So bring it back out, reset that password, and give us some votes, because we appreciate the support, and we want somebody from ESPN Northwest Florida to get one of those beautiful Best of Bay trophies. We've been doing this for 7 years. We might as well make it lucky number 7. That is for sure. Also, we got Marty from Boston back in the studio wearing the House Money Cats jersey for the 3rd consecutive day, because you got to wear it.
I got to, but I'm starting to get concerned. Maybe I'm jinxing them.
I was thinking that this morning when I saw you wearing it again. But we'll dive into the Stanley Cup Finals here, probably in our second segment. Poll question for today. I did not forget for once. I remembered barely, but it is going to be your barbecue sauce question. And there's the 4 main types of barbecue sauce. Yes, you could determine them by state, but I think they're also regionally as well. So we're going to do it based on what is actually in there. You got the tomato-based barbecue sauce, probably your most traditional barbecue sauce, fair to say.
That's a good one. Yeah.
You've got the vinegar-based barbecue sauce. I'm not really sure which regions that is, but,
North Carolina.
North Carolina. There you go. And then the mustard-based barbecue sauce.
South
Carolina. And then the mayonnaise-based, also known as the white sauce, Alabama. There you go. So then the rest of them are kind of covered in that traditional barbecue sauce.
Yeah, 4 good choices, I think. But everybody's very particular on their favorites.
Absolutely.
Barbecue sauce.
Absolutely. I think, if I had to vote, and David's loading it up there on the poll question right there. It's live on our Facebook page. Obviously, if you're driving, you could text us in or give us a call and tell us your vote, and we'll add it in there. But I think I'm the vinegar-based guy.
Oh, yeah. That's my 100%. And the irony, best vinegar barbecue I had was in South Carolina.
There you go. Just because you're across that border, from North Carolina to South Carolina, doesn't mean you can't have some good vinegar-based barbecue sauce.
Exactly.
What about you, D. Hayes? I'm going to guess Alabama.
Roll Tide, brother.
There you go.
Give me that white sauce, man. I love that stuff. I'll put it on anything. Chicken salad sandwiches, whatever, man. If you can imagine it, I'll put it on it.
Yep, absolutely.
I love making it, too. It's not that hard to make, but it don't last as long when you make it at the house, so...
Absolutely.
Is there that Duke's brand?
I was going to say, is there a brand of the white barbecue that's the go-to down this way?
Duke's? That's the one.
That's the only one that I've found.
Is there like a Bob Gibson's or something like that, maybe too?
Maybe so, but when I go to the grocery store, I'm not like, I see something, I grab it. If I see multiple things, all right, what's cheaper? Boom, there we go. Get out of that store.
Efficient.
That's it. Efficiency. And, we've talked about this on the air before. If you see somebody in the grocery store, it's okay to just give them the wave, say hello, and continue on with your business. There's that preconceived notion of you see somebody in the grocery store, you got to stop and talk. Hey, how are you? What are you doing? Shopping in the grocery store. What's it look like I'm doing? You can just smile and wave, boys, and keep on heading on. That's my thought anyway.
I love the wave, the head nod, and then you're on your way because... Let's put it this way. You're there to get some food. You're hungry.
It's a task.
Yeah.
And the grocery store is crazy nowadays, especially in this neck of the woods with all the beautiful tourists we have come into the area. But, I'm a get in the grocery store, get what I need to get done, and get out.
I'll give you 20 seconds tops. And then it's like, okay, we'll play
20 seconds is a long time.
I think that's generous, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm doing the, hey, how you doing? Good to see you. And I just keep on keeping on. And it should be okay.
It should be.
Mustard base was South Carolina or North Carolina?
Mustard South.
Okay. There you go.
Either that or my entire life has been a lie. That's what.
Well, it could be.
It could be.
And I'm sure there's people out there that will correct us if that is the case. Oh, lots of comments already. And, gotta love the Bama white sauce, chicken white sauce, ribs, tomato-based, pulled pork is mustard for me. So, hey, there you go. It depends on what the protein you are choosing to eat with. So
I like it. Got to have your options.
Yeah, that's it. And that's a cool thing. But David's like white sauce all the way. I'm committed.
I like it.
I mean, I like it all.
Yeah,
I do.
I know. We don't even have to ask David preferences on food. He says if it's there, I'm gonna eat it.
I think that was the point of the poll, though. It's favorite. We're going
favorite.
Yes.
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay.
That's why it's a poll. You can only vote for one thing.
Bingo.
Unless you have multiple Facebook profiles, and that goes back to the burner email addresses. Maybe you got burner Facebook accounts.
What do you think the average number of email addresses a person has?
I'm just gonna go off how many I have. 4.
Okay. I was going to guess about a handful, like the five for a ballpark.
Yeah. I mean, I got work email addresses. I got my PGA email address, which I've had since forever.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you have to have a Gmail account because if you do Google spreadsheets and Google Docs and stuff like that, you need something to log in with. And then I don't use it anymore, but I think our coastal email addresses still exist.
I bet it does. Somewhere in the universe.
Yeah, absolutely. It's out there. I was looking for something this morning, ironically, and I don't even know how it happened, but I found my Coastal Carolina student ID from our senior year.
Get out of here.
It was crazy. Fully buzzed, David. Not bicked, but fully buzzed.
Hey, there we go, my man.
Yep, absolutely. I did ask Beth about doing the full bick, and she's like, nope. But we're gonna just fade what we got. So she's like, still gonna do a fade. I was like, well, I know, but it's it's gonna fade into a nothing.
Reverse fade.
Yeah, it's an opposite fade. We'll fade it back down. That's an idea.
Trending.
Yeah, we'll start it. That is for sure.
I like the skullet idea though, man.
I know it's getting a little crazy right now because it's growing still, and it would take me a while, I think, to get it to be able to come completely over.
And the term is skullet.
Skullet, yeah.
Well, skullet would be just where you have nothing up top, and then everything else is just a beautiful flowing mane.
There you go.
And if you played hockey, you could hide it under a helmet. Nobody would even know.
And get
or baseball.
I say
hat. Just not. You're not a hat. I'm not a hat guy.
Yeah.
I can't wear them even when I wear hats. I can't wear them for very long. I just never have been a hat guy.
That's fair.
It's the loaf of bread head that my dad has dubbed me having since I was a little boy. That is for sure. We also going to give away. We had the 7-year send off. We had our winner Drew Gearhart. Congratulations again to him, heading up to see the Braves in September. But we've got another family 4-pack to give away, and I think what we're going to do on Thursday is I'm going to come up with a trivia question, and we will put it out to the 5th caller at the start of every segment, starting at 11:20 tomorrow. And then if you, it's not going to be the easiest trivia question in the world, and I'll give you some options of some categories. I'll come up with all that tomorrow, and then if you're the 5th caller and you get the trivia question right, you're going to get a 4-pack of Braves tickets, and that is to go up and see them play the Pittsburgh Pirates on June 28th. And who knows, that's the first game of the series, and you may be able to see Paul Skeens up Purcell. That'd be pretty cool.
Nice, yeah. Do you have a trivia category already in mind, or is
not yet?
Okay,
not yet.
Game time decision.
I work better under pressure.
Fair enough.
Ralph Jackson might be calling in for that.
There you go. That's going to be a good one to go to, no doubt about it. But yeah, we'll start that tomorrow, and then of course I want to take some time in this first segment. Had arguably one of the best baseball players of all time passed away. Willie Mays was 93 years old, born May 6, 1931. So a little over a month and a half over the 93 years old. But just some unbelievable statistics. Obviously he's in the Hall of Fame. He's a Rookie of the Year, 2-time MVP, 24-time All-Star, 12 Gold Glove winner, 2-time All-Star MVP, won the 1954 World Series. He won a batting title, and he was the Major League Player of the Year. His lifetime statistics: he had a WAR of 156.2. He had a 3293 hits out of almost 11,000 at bats, 660 home runs, a career batting average of 301. He scored 2,068 runs, 1,909 RBIs, 339 stolen bases, an on-base percentage of 384, slugging percentage of 557, an OPS of 9.940, and an OPS plus of 155. So Willie Mays has passed away, and now what a great legend of the game he is. And I just wanted to take some time. These aren't my words. I want to take some excerpts here from Daniel Brown's long article on The Athletic from, kind of doing a little obituary and talking about some of the things. I'm going to pull some stuff as we kind of, read through this thing. But Willie Mays opened his big league career with a confidence-rattling 0-for-12 stretch before finally blasting a home run off of Warren Spahn early in 1951. Warren Spahn later joked, "I'll never forgive myself. We might have gotten rid of Willie Mays forever if I only struck him out." Instead, to the delight of everyone except opposing pitchers, Mays' home run atop the left field roof at the Polo Grounds served as a warning blast for one of the longest and most exhilarating careers in baseball history. Mays, who died Tuesday at Palo Alto, California at the ripe age of 93 years old, still represents the gold standard for an all-around ball player and might do so forever. He could hit, run, field, and throw with equal aplomb. If he could cook, I'd marry him, manager Leo Durocher once said. The San Francisco Giants announced Mays passing Tuesday evening. No cause of death was provided. My father passed away peacefully among loved ones. Michael Mays, as part of the Giants announcement, I want to thank you from the bottom of my broken heart for unwavering love you've shown him over the years. You may have been his life's blood. Beyond skills and his gaudy stats, Mays brought an irresistible ebullience to the diamond, and the Say Hey Kid performed with a showman's flair, making basket catches in center field, taking daring chances on the base pass, winning 4 home run crowns, 12 Gold Glove awards, and laughing all the way with that gleeful, high-pitched voice. That's what his idea was, to please the crowd. The late Giants reliever Stan Miller observed, Mays even wore a cap one size too small to ensure it would fly off cinematically whenever he darted across the field. With an incandescent style, Mays forever made the game look fun, whether it was dazzling in a Giants uniform, playing stickball with the kids in St. Nicholas Avenue on 155th Street in Harlem neighborhood, sometimes on the same day. As a Dodgers executive Branch Rickey once said, Mays' greatest attribute was his frivolity in his bloodstream, doubled with his strength and laughter. Mays flashed that effervescence even in an old age. Into his 90s, he was a frequent visitor to the Giants' home ballpark at 24 Willie Mays Plaza, where a bronze statue of his glorious right-handed swing greeted up to 3 million fans a year. For anyone attending their first game, there was no better introduction into Giants baseball. I'm not sure what the hell charisma is, former Red Slugger Ted Klaczynski once said, but I get the feeling it's Willie Mays. Rob Manfred, the MLB commissioner, issued a statement from Birmingham, Alabama, where coincidentally this week's game at Rickwood Field will honor a significant chapter in Mays' early career. All of Major League Baseball is mourning today as we gather at the very ballpark where a career and a legacy like no other began, Manfred said. Willie Mays took his all-around brilliance from the Birmingham Black Barons of the Negro American League to the historic Giants franchise. From coast to coast in New York and San Francisco, Willie inspired generations of players and fans as the game grew, truly earned a place as our national pastime. The news of Mays' death hit the baseball world hard. I am beyond devastated and overcome with emotions, Barry Bonds wrote in an Instagram post. The 7-time MVP's father, Barry Bonds, was a teammate and dear friend. I have no words to describe what you meant to me. You helped shape me and who I am today. Thank you for being my godfather and always being there. Give my dad a hug for me. Rest in peace, Willie. I love you forever. Keith Hernandez, the former first baseman turned New York Mets broadcaster, grew up in the Bay Area. He struggled to maintain his composure on the air Tuesday while discussing a conversation he had with the older version of Mays. What always came off was he was the Say Hey Kid. He had that, I don't know this word, EBULLIENT. Jubilant personality, infectious and genuine, Hernandez said. Fighting tears, I got to tell him he was the greatest player I ever saw. Mays spent 23 seasons in the majors, batting .301 with 666 home runs, 339 stolen bases, and 3,293 hits. He won 2 NL MVP awards, a number that looks like an injustice through the retroactive lens of modern analytics. By WAR, Mays was the best player in the National League 9 times. He was a 24-time All-Star who led the league in slugging percentage 5 times, stolen bases 4 times, and triples 3 times. He's the only major league player to have hit a home run in every inning from the 1st through the 16th, and he finished his career with a record 22 extra inning home runs. Joe Posnowski's best-selling book, The Baseball 100, threw in a few extra points for artistic impression and ranked Mays as the greatest player in history. What do you love most about baseball? Mays did that. Posnowski wrote, to watch him play, to read the stories about how he played, to look at his glorious statistics, to hear what people said about him, is to be reminded why we love this odd and ancient game in the first place. Yes, Willie Mays has always made a kid feel like grown-ups and grown-up feel like kids. In the end, isn't that the whole point of baseball? The article goes on to talk about specific instances sentences with Willie Mays from different people quoting him. But as you get to the end of the article, it ends in kind of just a great way. Just, again, a really, really long article, and I encourage you to read it. It's right out of there, out of the Athletic, who just put his career into great words and some great excerpts there. But it kind of finishes the article by saying, through his eyesight and hearing faltered in his twilight years, that sing-song voice never wavered. Mays sounded as if he'd be up for stickball game even till the last. Willie Mays was the happiest guy in the world to be Willie Mays. Simons, the broadcaster, once said, that's what he wanted to be, that he wanted to be Willie Mays. Good stuff there.
Sounds like a great article.
It is.
And again, cheerful and full of energy.
Yeah.
Jubilant.
Yeah. Thank you. Did you Google it?
I did. I sure did.
It sounds more easier to say when you just say jubilant than trying to read it. It's just a weird word to read.
Oh, no. Especially if that's just getting peppered in throughout.
Yeah. Like, what? This is my first time.
Yeah.
I'm going to start using jubilant all the time.
It's word of the day today.
Hey, kids, I'm going to need you to be more jubilant out there on the flag football field. They're like, Coach, what?
Yeah. You know what's fun, though? Like, in hearing the article, and it was one of those pieces where I heard the news last night watching the hockey game. And it's one of those pieces where, do you ever feel like even if you're watching a former player and maybe somebody that wasn't in your generation, you see the highlights, you hear all the hype and everything else, and you think, man, I wish I could have seen that guy in his prime. Like, I'm starting to think, like, through these articles.
Absolutely.
Where it's like, who am I going to be as the old man being like, back in my day? It's like, who's the athletes for
who's
that
gonna be
time?
that now? Yeah.
And, I mean, I'm laughing because I was reading something on ESPN.com this morning and just, like, paraphrase it. It was great. It's like, Willie Mays could hit, he could field, he could run. And, like, one of the fun little run lines was he led the league in, like, 1971 with the base running run stat or whatever it was. And it's like, he was 40 years old. It was like the end of it. And I'm like, yep. It's like, it's just those, like one of those characters in life that seems, it's just that persona, that showmanship.
Yeah.
Where I don't know if, like, we were kind of talking about it a little bit with golf from this past weekend.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where it's
great
like,
analogy.
At least Bryson is starting to put some of that together versus, like, we were talking with, I think it was Doc A yesterday. And we were saying, for how good Scotty is, you're watching kind of a robot.
Yeah, you're not the show. And it's a great point, a great analogy. It's so important to continuing to keep the game relevant and continue to grow the game for future generations. Obviously, yes, you got to have talent. You want to have people out there playing great in whatever sport that is. But there has to be that flair, that showmanship that engages, the younger generations. There's just no doubt about it. And good stuff. I mean, I'm trying to think of, and maybe it's a different topic for a different day, but some of the people in the last maybe 15, 20 years that kind of shared that same. And I just don't know if we see it as much as you probably used to.
I've got one.
Fire.
It's more of and again, baseball has become so regional.
Yeah.
And it's definitely, he wasn't, I think, the same level of charisma and the same professional that Willie Mays was. But I'm laughing, like, just hearing that article being read. And all I can think of is the days back in Boston when Manny Ramirez was out in left field behind the monster, like sneaking in behind the wall, like talking to the guy that did the numbers behind the way. Maybe, relieving himself back that way during the middle of the pitch. Like, it's just one of the, and it was just Manny being Manny.
Yep.
So it was one of those pieces where I always laugh for baseball. Like, there's a bunch of characters. And Manny, back then, too, was in his prime.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody loved him. And I think that's one of the coolest things about baseball is you do have people that, like, absolutely love their favorite player.
Yeah.
I think compared to other sports.
Absolutely. I think you could probably, when you were talking, another name that kind of popped into my mind was, when Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa were going back and forth, but then obviously all the things that kind of happened after that kind of tainted that a little bit, I guess.
But in the moment.
It was absolutely awesome.
I would say Ken Griffey Jr. fits that mold.
Ooh, I like that. That's
the
a good
swing,
one.
like you got the catch with Willie Mays.
Yep.
I mean, as many great catches as we've had since then, and that's still the catch.
Yeah,
and
they referenced it in the College World Series last week, which is nuts, too. But yeah, Ken Griffey Jr. is another good one, that's for sure.
The one shame about him was all the injuries. Like, compared to Willie, like Willie still being, like, playing
24 years.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Doing what he's doing at 40 years old.
24 All-Star appearances.
Wild stuff. I mean, Brady comes to mind, but I just don't know if the showmanship and the flair is quite the same.
No.
Tampa Bay. Tom Brady.
Tampa Bay Tom.
He had the flair.
I called him checked out time at that point.
Captain Cool. Captain Cool.
But it's the same thing. It's where Brady was hated throughout the league. And it was because he was known as like the assassin and just like he could do it in crunch time and time again. And versus having that persona where, again, I think one of the great lines from that article is, having the adults feel like they're kids at the ballpark too.
Yeah.
Like that,
beautiful.
That's something special that almost like it's tough to get that in, I think, today's modern
in this
sports.
modern, and yeah, just with everything else going on, it's tough to do that. And for somebody to transcend the game for so long is just some pretty cool stuff. We got to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll dive into a quick College World Series update, and then we're going to talk about the Stanley Cup Game 5 last night. Things are turning a little bit there in that series. We'll dive into it just a little bit. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Atlanta Braves 7-year send-off.
That is gone!
From ESPN Northwest Florida.
Drew Gerhardt. We are going to be sending you to Atlanta on September 7th on a Saturday to see the Braves take on the Blue Jays. That's coming with your hotel, with your spending cash, your food and beverage at the game, and some great seats at the Xfinity Club. Drew, now what's your excitement level feeling like?
All right. We're going to Atlanta.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Wednesday's weather forecast. Partly sunny this afternoon and evening with a high near 90 and a wind 13 to 17 miles per hour. Mostly clear skies tonight and a temperature of 76. About the same tomorrow, around 91 with mostly sunshine most of the day except a small chance of showers in the afternoon and evening. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Are you tired of hearing 2 weeks when you call to get your boat worked on? Hey folks, it's Chris Kramer with Kramer Marine and Outdoor, and we'll get you in and back out on the water as quick as possible. We're a full-line Yamaha outboard dealer and Suzuki outboard dealer, and we have master-trained certified mechanics on site. So if it's just an annual service, electronics install, trolling motor install, or all the way up to a full repower, we can take care of you. So stop by and see us in the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd next to Bill Kramer GM, or call us at 850-851-0453.
It's the Dolly Southern Sweets Collection, available now only at Krispy Kreme Donuts. Sink your teeth into the chocolate cream pie, or how about the Southern favorite banana pudding pie? Or the Southern sweet peachy king cobbler. Last but not least, try the Dolly Dazzler. And wash it all down with the Peachy Keen Lemonade Chiller. All delicious and available only at Krispy Kreme Donuts. In front of HCA Hospital on 23rd Street in Panama City and on the Ross Clark Circle.
If you're not scanning while the cashier is begging, we're judging you a little.
Why am I working at the grocery store now?
It's the Inside Drive with Ryan and Jay. Live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios at ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Some pretty cool stuff there, Willie Mays. Hayes.
Say hey.
Hey. Say hey, kid. Yeah, 93, good run.
Very good run.
Great run.
Sign me up.
Absolutely. You tell me 93 now, I'm like, all right, what do I need to do to be on that train? That is for sure.
I think you got to be a little bit jubilant.
Jubilant. Oh, there was a GIF or a meme with the word jubilant. That's a good one. I'm gonna start using that daily.
Perfect.
Hey Jay, what does jubilant mean? Hopefully the kids out there this morning were very jubilant for you. Did get a text from one of our listeners. Jim and Nick's white barbecue sauce is the best.
Ooh.
I've always wanted to stop at that place. Never have.
There you go.
So I'll try it out next time I see it.
Jim and Nick's. Where is Jim and Nick's located?
Somewhere on the road. Not around here.
That's fair.
I don't think anyway.
Somewhere on the road?
I think you head north and you're heading to Alabama or something like that.
Yeah, gotcha.
I kind of like that for directions.
Yeah.
For a barbecue joint. Somewhere on the road.
Just keep driving. You'll find it.
It's one of those ones that it stands out to you when you're driving, but you never stop by it. So it's like, hey, I know it's around here somewhere. Not around here, but when you head north, You'll find it. Just keep going.
There you go.
Follow that star,
Just
baby.
keep going.
I think that adds to the mystique of it now. I'm like, all right, Jim and Nick's.
It's like they're making a movie about it, the road trip for Jim and Nick's. They just keep going, and eventually they don't find it. But maybe they will. Who knows? Quick Men's College World Series update. We got the triple header going on today after Florida had another weather delay or postponement, whatever you want to call it. But Florida got off to a hot start. It was 7-1 after the first inning. Florida hung 7 in the bottom of the first. It's been scoreless ever since, and now they are, I believe, in the top of the fourth or bottom of the third. But I think top of the fourth, still 7-1. But Florida off to a great start in this elimination game between them and Kentucky. And then, of course, you've got coming up as well, Florida State will be playing Tennessee to stay alive. Niceville, Jim and Nick's. Wow, it's not even that far away. You just found it just like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think there's one in Destin as well, but they've got 48 locations. So.
48 locations?
Definitely on the road. Okay.
Yeah, it's on the road. Multiple roads.
You can't go wrong with directions like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Go west, go north. You'll find it eventually. Florida State plays at 2 p.m. Central Time. They got to beat Tennessee twice. They got to win the first game first, though, to have a chance to win that second game. So we'll see two great hitting teams in that matchup coming up later on today. And then, of course, whoever wins the Kentucky-Florida game will take on Texas A&M tonight at 6 p.m. Again, they'll have to win that one twice. Not impossible. It's happened before. It's just certainly the odds aren't against you, but you've made it there this far. Leave everything on the line. So we'll keep you updated on the Florida-Kentucky game as the show goes on. But, Bill, we got to dive into it.
Let's go.
You've been wearing the Panthers jersey all week.
I have.
And it was 3-0. And here we are. Now it's 3-2.
Yeah, that's true. But it was coming in, and it was, it's, getting my money's worth. They joked about that.
Absolutely. If there's any time to wear it, it's now.
It's true.
No doubt about it. But, obviously, Oilers got out to, and we talked about it. If Oilers scored first, it was going to be 2 goals would be great. And guess what? They scored 1 in the first period on a shorthanded goal. And that was what we were talking on the way in. There's been 2 shorthanded goals in this.
This is back-to-back games, and it's the first time ever, Stanley Cup history, that a team has opened up scoring shorthanded. And I mean, if Edmonton's going to quote unquote do the impossible,
Stuff like that has to happen.
I looked at the TV last night once that goal got scored, and don't get me wrong, it was a pretty goal, and Bobrovsky got beat, and it was just, it was a really clean shorthanded goal. It wasn't anything fluky. But I'm looking at the TV and I go, I could turn this off right now. I know there's going to be a Game 6.
Yep.
But I have to say, I would have deprived myself
of a great rest of hockey game.
Game 5.
Absolutely, yeah. Edmonton ended the first period 1-0 after getting that shorty goal. And then, of course, they got it all the way up to 3-0. Florida then scored 1 to make it 3-1. And then I think, did Florida score to make it 3-2 and then Edmonton scored? Or was it the
actually,
opposite?
This was
Edmonton got up
4-1,
4-1.
and then it was 18 seconds later, Florida comes right back. And I have to say, when it was 3-0, that rink was dead. The crowd looked like they had just seen a funeral. And I'm laughing. I'm like, all right, this is not Game 7. Yep, it's not Game 7.
Yep, absolutely.
You got time. But I have to say, I got to give the fans there a lot of credit, because I was watching that game, and I think we joked about it yesterday with the lack of a crystal puck. You hinted overtime, maybe?
It was close.
It was close.
It was
and I have to
close.
say,
I'm not Jay, so if Jay would have predicted it, it would have been a different story, no doubt about it. But yeah, 5-3, the final score. Connor McDavid had 4 points, 2 goals, 2 assists, and he had 4 points in the previous game. We had been talking about leading up to Game 4. He hasn't done hardly anything, and here he is now. I think, I don't know if he's the first ever with back-to-back 4-point games. There's some kind of record with that.
He now has the record, so it was 8 points in the 2 games.
Man.
And so that's all anybody on ESPN could fawn over last night, was how he's going to be taking over some of Gretzky's records here and there. And you know what? I'll say this, because again, being an alter ego, Marty from Boston, I have adopted the Panthers as my new hometown team, being a Florida resident.
Makes sense.
I am totally rooting for the Chaos now.
Yeah.
I laughed at this whole... everybody picked up that little tidbit, that little chirp quote where it's like, we're going to drag them back to Alberta. That's what McDavid said. And I'm not going to lie, if Bobrovsky looks as shaky as he did last night, I'm almost guaranteeing that like Edmonton at this point, because Skinner looks like he traded places.
He's like settled in all of a sudden. And I mean, we talked about it on the way in. Like that one goal he allowed that kind of got caught up in his skates. Like he didn't even. It's like he froze. Like you said, it's like he had a brain fart.
You're talking goalie Bob.
Yeah,
for the
goalie
third goal.
Bob. Yeah, for the third one, like you just, I've playing hockey, knowing hockey. Like when you've got somebody on the goal line, like perpendicular to you, you're getting your stick down, you're getting your pad down. I know they don't play as much butterfly goalie as they used to, but he just looked like he like just kind of forgot what he was doing, and that was a big goal there.
Yeah, it did look like he almost got lost in the moment, or just like got hung up on doing two different things. I mean, we all know that. It's where you're thinking about doing one thing, your brain does the opposite.
Yeah,
you're like,
and you
wait,
just can't control it.
You freeze a little bit, but I mean, he looked shaky in different aspects last night. But I'll give the Panthers this. They fought back.
They did.
Made it
They had a
game.
chance. Absolutely.
And Tkachuk, I have to say, like, he came alive too. That was another big one for the Panthers, because he had been kind of floating out in the middle of nowhere for most of that series too. And the only thing I was actually concerned about was, I don't know if you stuck through the entire end of the game where Oilers had a little bit of bad puck luck, quote unquote, when it was the empty net, hit the post,
and then Tkachuk knocked the other one out.
Yeah, but then McDavid's right there and just like, here you go.
Yep. It's just tough to defend that empty net, no doubt about it, but it's something you got to do. Evan Bouchard, one of the Evans that could get his name on the Stanley Cup, Evan Rodriguez from the Florida Panthers, who's had a great Stanley Cup Finals as well. Evan Bouchard, 26 assists, now holds the NHL record for assists by a defenseman. Pretty impressive there. That's 26 in a single playoff season. That's
huge.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
It just goes to show. We've been talking about it. We talked about it at the beginning of the series. Like, where did Edmonton's offense go? Well, guess what? The last two games, they've scored 8 goals and 8 total points from McDavid. I think they found their stride, and it's gonna be a fun one going back to Edmonton on Friday.
I think so. And I kind of forgot about it till I started thinking about it last night. Like, they were down against Vancouver.
Oh yeah,
in round 1, where they had to come back, win games 6 and 7.
Funny you should say that. They are 4-0 when facing elimination. I mean, both of those games against the Canucks, as you just mentioned, they were down 3-2 in that series, tied it up, and then won Game 7. Now, they weren't down 3-0 like they were to the Panthers, but here we are with a trip back to Edmonton, and Friday's big game could send it back to Florida, or Florida gets it done. We'll find out. It's kind of been a tale of multiple games. Bob's looked great. Skinner, looked okay. They switched play. I mean, Florida had 32 shots, and Skinner only allowed 3 goals on that, as opposed to Bob's, who only faced 23 shots with 4 goals allowed in that one. And then, of course, the 8 goals. Not all on him when they swap goalies, but it's just, it's interesting. Edmonton's got this kind of we can come back mentality, and Florida's never won a Stanley Cup, maybe feeling the pressure at home. You talked about the fans that you go there, you spend that money on that Game 5 ticket, you're like, here it is. I'm gonna be there for our first ever Stanley Cup championship, and then the win just kind of gets knocked out of their sails. But hey, like you said, kudos to them for fighting back and really making that a game. Entertaining hockey. If you're not watching this series, you're missing out.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a sports fan and you don't even know anything about hockey, I'm not gonna lie, ESPN will fill you in on why. But I think it's funny too. Like, even in the coverage last night, just watching the fans throughout the stands, I'm amazed at the number of Oiler fans who decided, I'm going to spend all this money to travel all the way to Sunrise, and hopefully there's a shot that they can keep it going.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But those Oilers fans, they're all about it too.
It's a dedication. Absolutely. Edmonton is trying to become the second of only 29 teams to come back from a 3-0 deficit in the Stanley Cup final. Bill, what was the last team to do it?
Your Toronto Maple Leafs.
Absolutely. I wore that shirt during the playoffs earlier this year. Yes, the 1942 Toronto Maple Leafs against the Detroit Red Wings. I think overall total playoffs, I think there's been 4 times, but only 1 time it's happened in the Stanley Cup Finals. But hey,